This video is brought to you by my book, which can be found on Amazon or foldableflight.com. Links in the description below. Hello pilots of the internet and welcome to Foldable Flight. In this video I will be teaching you how to make 3 new and seriously impressive dart paper airplanes that fly very, very, very far. Now Guardian and Havoc are actually pretty similar in the way that you fold them, so I'll be very curious to hear which one works better for you. And Alkonost might seriously be my very best distance design. So it's a little more complicated, but well worth the fold. Now, as always, I have designed templates for each of these paper airplanes, and I think that it really makes them stand out. As always, these are available to my patrons, but also, if this video gets 1 million views, I'll make Guardian's template free. 2 million views, Havoc's template is free, and 3 million views, I'll make Alkonost's template free as well. So be sure to like and share this video if you want some free content. And with that out of the way, let me show you these planes in flight, and then I'll teach you how to fold them. All you will need in order to fold Havoc is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper or an A4 sheet of paper, and we'll begin by folding the right edge to the left edge. Try to line up your corners as well as possible and make your plane as symmetrical as you possibly can, because that will always improve its performance. So once you've done that, go ahead and open your paper up so that your center crease is a mountain fold. And we're going to fold this top edge down, and the idea is we want this top band to be the same exact shape as this bottom rectangle below it. And I actually like to rotate my paper 90 degrees as I do this. And I feel like that helps me to assess exactly where to place this edge and make those two identical or close to identical. Anything similar where this rectangle is similar to that rectangle is going to be great. So that was my attempt. Your attempt will look a little different, but that's fine. Go ahead and open your paper up to this orientation and now fold the top edge to this edge here. I said to this edge, I mean, of course, to that horizontal crease that we just made. And once you do that, we can fold down on that existing horizontal crease. And then go ahead and fold your paper in half away from you like this, so that this band is on the outside. And I'm now going to fold so that my crease starts in this top left corner and goes down to this bottom right corner. And the way I like to do that is I kind of pull here until it catches in that top left corner. And then I can swivel this bottom portion into alignment with the corner down there. And I kind of just tack it in both places. And when I'm happy with the alignment, I sweep out from the middle in either direction, just like that. And that's the way I've kind of found that I make the most accurate creases when I'm trying to go from corner to corner. So you might try it that way and see if it works for you. Now flipping it over, we can go ahead and fold this corner here to that corner, and that should make our two sides identical. Okay, now I'll go ahead and open this up. And my next step is to fold this edge here to this diagonal crease. I'm going to leave just a tiny gap between this edge and that crease, maybe 1 millimeter. Really, you want to go almost to the crease, just definitely not past it. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, and I'll open both of those up. And my next step is to fold this top edge here to that diagonal crease. And I'm not going to crease all the way. I'm just creasing right to this point where this new crease I'm making hits this crease that we made in the previous step. And I want you to focus on this little section right here. And actually, you see when I pull this, that section is this line on the opposite side of the paper. And when I have it in this position, I'm going to reverse the crease right here on this side of the paper, and I can pull this tab forward, and I want to collapse it so that this curved edge right now becomes the edge that lands right along here. And I'm going to flatten this so that the bulge here lands on this edge. So it should look just like that. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm folding this here to this diagonal crease. And again, I'm just creasing to this point right here, and I can reverse this short little crease and pull this whole thing forward and collapse it just like so. So this edge here lands on that edge. Okay, and now you see we have these nice tabs, which we can tuck in behind this central pocket, just like so on either side. And you'll notice it can be a little difficult to get it all to lie flat again, because actually these cross the center crease just a little bit. So I actually like to fold it in half as I'm trying to massage it back into a flat position. And then we're ready to fold our wings. And all you have to do is fold this edge here to that edge down on the bottom. The layers up front are really thick, so you'll kind of have to curl them around your thumb to prepare them and align them properly. And then, of course, just line up those back edges as best you can. And just fold the other side to match. And there you go. This is a finished Havoc. Now, I would invite you to go ahead and throw this with a little dihedral angle, so you're angling those wings upward slightly, and see how it flies before you apply any up elevator at all. If it dives down, you may need to bend the back edges of your wings up just slightly, but it's very likely you won't need that at all. So with that, good luck flying your plane. All you will need in order to fold Guardian is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and we'll begin by folding the right edge to the left edge. Line up your corners as well as you can and try to make this crease really accurate, because as always, it's going to help you keep your plane symmetrical as you fold. Okay, now we'll open that up so that our center crease is a mountain crease, and I'm going to fold the top edge to the bottom edge, but instead of creasing all the way across, I just want to create a pinch crease, which we'll use as a reference as we now fold the top edge to that pinch crease. Okay, and once we've done that, we'll go ahead and fold the paper in half on this existing center crease. And I'm going to go ahead and make this fold and explain to you how I decide where to make it after I've made the fold, because I think it's easier to illustrate that way. So, right there. So, you can see my crease goes right through this top left corner. And basically, I want this edge here to just cover that corner. So I'm swinging it into position right when that corner is hidden. Then I know that's the place I want to make my crease. And when you look at it from the other side, you can see this corner is going straight to that edge. Now once I've got it flipped over like this, I can just fold this corner here to land on that corner. And that should make this side match up perfectly with my other side. Okay, now I can just open this up like so, And the next step is to fold this short edge here so it lands on this diagonal crease we just made. And I'll do that on the other side as well. And next I want to fold this edge here so that it lands on this diagonal crease. But instead of pulling it all the way to the diagonal crease, I'm actually going to leave just a couple millimeters there and allow it a little bit of room to compensate for the thickness of the paper here, as we're going to be doing some more folding that will complicate things if we bring that edge too close to that crease. So again, I'm folding here, leaving just a little gap between this edge and the crease here. I'll even highlight the crease so you can see exactly how far my edge is from that. And that's just an estimation of a couple millimeters. Once I do that, I can open this up, open it up on this side as well, and I'm going to fold this top edge now to that diagonal crease. This time I will actually carry that just about all the way to that crease. And I'm going to crease this only until I get to the point where this diagonal crease is intersecting the edge. And now I can actually reverse that short little crease here that I've highlighted and pull this layer forward. And I want to collapse it so that this curved edge here lands right along this diagonal crease. And as I flatten this bulge of paper, I want to flatten this edge here so that it lands on that edge there. Just like so. And I can do the same thing over here, so I'm folding this edge now to this diagonal crease. And again, on this step, I'm really bringing it very close to that crease. And I'm just creasing right to the point where this crease here is intersecting the edge. And I reverse that crease, swing it forward, and collapse it so that this edge is running along that edge there, and this edge that we form lands on the front edge of the plane. And your plane should look just like this. Now I'm ready to fold this edge here into this diagonal crease. And again, I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap here. Like so. Just a couple millimeters to compensate for the thickness of the paper. I'll do the same thing over here, folding this edge to this diagonal crease. Try very hard to control your layers beneath because you don't want them to incidentally cross that diagonal crease. That'll create problems for you when you're trying to close everything up here in a moment. So something like that looks really good. And I'm actually going to unfold those most recent creases. And now I'm going to tuck these tabs here, these whole tabs, in behind this pocket. So I'm going to swing that closed, tuck it in like so, swing this side closed, and tuck that in behind. It's not cooperating very well with me, but there we go. So now, before I try to flatten everything, I'm going to go ahead and actually just fold along these existing creases and tuck those layers in behind everything else. And you can see now we can kind of flatten everything out. And we're going to go ahead now and fold the plane in half. And we're ready now to just fold the wings by taking this edge here to this edge there. And the layers are really thick here at the front, so you're going to have to kind of curl them around your thumb as you try. Even all the way back to here, the layers are pretty thick. So kind of curl it in preparation of making that crease, and then narrow in where the crease goes as you land this edge on that bottom edge of the plane. And yeah, the plane does tend to get a little bit wrinkly as you fold it, just because things are so thick. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And there you go. Open that up, and this is a finished Guardian, which is an absolutely excellent dart. Now, honestly, it's pretty well balanced, so you may not need any up elevator at all. I would make sure that you use just a slight dihedral angle like this, and if it does nose down in flight, you can, of course, bend the back edges up just slightly, and that should help it to have a nose up tendency. And with that, good luck flying your plane. All you will need in order to fold Alkonost is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper or an A4 sheet of paper, and we'll begin by folding the right edge to the left edge. As always, try very hard to maintain symmetry here and line up your corners as well as possible before creasing. And now go ahead and open your paper back up so that your center crease is a mountain fold, and fold your top edge to the left edge, and your crease should go right through that top left corner. I like to go ahead and line up that crease in the corner first and kind of just pinch crease it there, and then swivel this edge into alignment. And when I'm happy with both of those things, I'll crease all the way across the paper like so. And now I can open that back up, and we're going to fold this edge here to the right edge now, and our crease should go through the top right corner. Okay, and we'll open that up. Now I'm going to flip the paper over, and I want to fold this top edge down so that the crease I make goes right through the intersection of these diagonals. Now I'm actually going to rotate the paper just so I can keep my head out of frame and also still see pretty closely what I'm working on. And I'm basically focusing on this diagonal here and this diagonal here, and where they converge right at the center. That's where you want to tack it down just with your finger, and then make sure that you're lining up the center crease on this layer with the center crease on the layer behind it, as well as your outer edges. And once you feel like you have all of that aligned, you can go ahead and crease all the way across like so. And now I'll open that up, flip the paper over, and just poke this point. You can see the sides come in, and now I can just pull in like so and collapse it into the water bomb base. Now I'll go ahead and rotate it so that this point is facing me, and swing this flap to the other side. And I want to fold this edge here to land on this edge here, and you'll see that's going to be tricky because this side is not going to lie flat. Now the first thing I want to do is make sure that my crease is going right to this corner here. And then, even though this side's not lying flat, I'm just going to crease all the way into this pocket. And when I unfold that, you can see my crease is going all the way to this edge, and that is this inner point of the pocket. Now, holding it in this position, I'm going to kind of bring this pocket down, and I want to flatten it so this edge here lands on this edge, and this edge, or bulge, which I'm going to turn into an edge, will land on that edge. Like so, and then I'll go ahead and crease this side as well. And now I'll just fold this point here to that point up there. Okay, and then I'll just reverse the crease I just made and tuck that into the pocket. There we go, and your plane should look like this, and now we're ready to repeat all of those steps on the other side. So I'm turning this flap to the other side, and I want to fold this edge here to land on this edge. And this is that tricky step where the right side now is not going to lie flat as I work here. But I'm making sure that my crease goes right into this corner here. And I'm making sure I'm landing this edge properly on this edge here and creasing all the way into the point of the pocket. So if I were to unfold it, you can see that's where my crease lands. And now I can fan open the pocket, land this edge on this edge, and flatten this bulge here to land on that edge, and then flatten this as well. Now I'll go ahead and fold this point to that point there. And I can go ahead and reverse that crease that I just made and tuck this into the pocket. Okay. And now while I have it in this orientation, I'll go ahead and fold this edge here into the center. And then I'll swing both of these to the other side. Fold this edge into the center. And now I'll go ahead and fold the portion of the paper that crosses this bottom edge back up across the bottom edge. And if that doesn't make sense, you'll be able to see. Basically, I'm just trying to land this crease I'm forming right on the bottom edge of that bottom layer. Like so. And I'll do the same thing on this side. And I'll go ahead and unfold this side, unfold this side. And now I want to just reverse these creases I just made and fold in like so. And now I'm going to go ahead and fold this edge here to this diagonal crease. And I'm going to highlight this crease because I'm actually not going to fold all the way to the crease. I'm just going to leave a couple millimeters between this edge and that crease. So you can see there's just a little gap. And I want this edge to run parallel to that crease, but not quite go all the way to it. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, now I'll go ahead and, with the right flap pushed to the left, fold this edge here to the center. And I'll flip this tab back to its original side and then move this to its opposite side and fold this edge here to the center. And then I'll flip that back to its original side. And you'll see that it doesn't really want to lie flat very well right now, and that is totally fine. We're not worried about that at all. Now I want to fold from this point here to this point over here. And I'm just folding this bottom edge up like that, and you can see these edges will even land on those edges there. And this next step is a little bit tricky, but hopefully not too hard. I'm going to go ahead and unfold these and open this up just enough. Basically, I'm just reversing this crease. This crease here is in the correct orientation, and that crease there is in the correct orientation. And if I push down on that, it's going to let me fold on all of those creases at the same time and just tuck them in like so, and I can close up the sides back into their original orientation, and those layers that were on top are now just inside these tabs. Okay, and now I'll pull this closed over. You can see we actually have a pocket here, and the tab is going to end up going into that pocket. But for now, I just want you to pull these layers over the tabs, and I'll do that on both sides. And I want you to pay attention right to where this edge intersects this edge here. And at that point, right there, that's going to be one of my references for this next fold. The other reference is I want to land this point here on this edge of the plane. So I'm pulling right from this point here and creasing so that this corner down here lands on that outer edge of the plane. And once I do that on one side, I'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. like so. And then I can unfold that, unfold this side, open this up, and I'm going to take the time now to reverse those creases I just made. So I'm just bending them in the opposite direction, right along the same line, like so. Do the same thing on this side. And then I will actually unfold on both of those. Even unfold this back out into this position. And now I'm finally ready. I'm going to fold in like this, but actually tuck my tab into this pocket as I do so. And I'll do that same thing on both sides here. And now we are ready to fold these sides in, and you'll notice you have 3 diagonal creases all running essentially parallel to one another on either side. And the first thing I want you to do is locate the central diagonal crease on your right side, and you are going to just kind of push in on that crease and fold the flap in like so. Do the same thing on this side. You're folding this whole area that's on the outside of this diagonal crease all the way in like so. And then the last thing we have to do here is fold in on this diagonal crease as well. Just kind of pushing those layers. You want to control them as you do this. You're folding those layers in under the wing like so. Make sure you get all the layers to fold right along this line as you push it in like so. Okay. And this is the shape of our plane. We are pretty much done. We just have to fold it in half and then fold our wings. When you fold your wings, go ahead and just fold this edge here down to this edge. Okay, and having done one side, I will go ahead and flip it over, fold the other side to match. And there you go. This is a finished plane. Now this plane is pretty well balanced, so you might find that you don't need any up elevator at all. I would encourage you to give it some dihedral angle and give it a throw before you decide whether you need to bend the back edges up slightly. If it does dive down, then you can just bend the back edges up a little bit, and that should help it to nose up and glide really well for you. And with that, good luck flying your plane.